Arnette Simmons was 19 when she gave birth to Earl Simmons December 18, 1970, in Mount Vernon, New York. When Earl was 1, his maternal grandmother, Arnette Simmons' mother, passed away. With 2 children and minimal support from family, especially that of her baby fathers, Arnette relied upon her job as a receptionist and governmental assistance to provide for herself and her children. Harboring the resentment from the men that had abandoned her, including Earl's father, Arnette took out most of her frustrations upon young Earl. Due to the lack of maternal love from DMX's mother and the loss of maternal love due to his grandmother's death, many of DMX's relationships that deal with maternal or feminine energy have failed, as expressed within his relationship to his former wife, TASHERA Simmons.
Out of respect for my wife, I would just say that women threw themselves, that women made themselves available. But all they got was my wife had my heart.
I told him I'd never leave him for drugs. That's definitely not the reason why we separated. It was because, you're not gonna have babies and do all that other stuff. I was just like, man, I've given you 17 years of my life. I've always been loyal. But he started taking advantage of that.
He's always pushing the limits of people's sacrifice. He's always pushing the limits of people's love. You know, how many bad things can I do to you and still have you kind of show up for me?
In the past, DMX has discussed being abused by his mother while growing up, specifically in 2012 on the VH1 series Couples Therapy. It was on that show he and his mother had a much-needed discussion, and during that same appearance, DMX revealed that his mother never said she loved him when he was a child.
I used to always turn to drugs when, just I was feeling a certain way. And now that I'm not doing that, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when the pressure builds up, I'll call, Bino and be like, that's all. I just wanted to say, mommy.
You never got to have that mommy experience.
No.
And she never, not once, Not once she ever did. She ever told me that she loved me. I almost sound like a sucker.
You don't sound like a sucker.
It is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, a lot of people
don't get that. So, what's the big deal? So what? She didn't say she loved me. So what? I'm here. I'm healthy. You know what I mean?
But
I got kids. I got a good career.
During a GQ interview, the rapper said that he's forgiven his mother for the abuse, and he also gave an example of what he endured. I would get up at night sometimes to drink water because I was so hungry, he explained, and I saw something in her notebook that was open on the kitchen table, and it was wrong, so I erased it. I thought I was helping. I don't know what she thought I was doing. Don't know if she thought I was trying to sabotage her or whatever, but she beat 2 of my teeth out with a fucking broom, added DMX. And I think about this today. I'm like, okay, you saw me erase something in your notebook. What did you think I was trying to do? What could you have possibly thought I was trying to do? But DMX chalks up the abuse to his mother being young at the time, and he's fully forgiven her for it. DMX would further detail, that doesn't mean I don't love her, he explains. That doesn't mean she's the same person. Children don't come with a fucking instruction manual. She was 20 when she had me. 4 sisters. I'm the only boy. Maybe she didn't know what to do with me. I think a lot of people struggle with forgiving their parents, DMX added. In fact, I personally struggle with forgiving my parents. But until you learn how to forgive others, you can't forgive yourself. You can't forgive yourself if you don't know how to forgive.
She was young, her mother had died, she was struggling on her own, trying to maintain ends meet.
What you grow up with is what you accept as normal. It's not as hard as people would think it is.
And even as I examine Arnette Simmons a bit further, she was emasculated due to her environment. She was emasculated due to her circumstantial situations. She was very much a masculine presence within DMX's life as opposed to a maternal presence. She did not give him the love, the nurturement, the care. She did not give him the divine feminine that he needed to properly navigate healthy masculinity. And you would assume, given that she is a vessel of divine feminine potential because she is a biological woman, you would assume since she's not affording her son maternal nurturement and she is servicing him as a masculine presence, you would assume that she is supplying his divine masculinity when in fact she is crippling his divine masculinity. She is crippling his masculinity. She is crippling him as a young black male. She deprived him of the confidence, of the self-esteem, given the deprivation and the absence of a maternal affection, of a maternal love, of that divine feminine. Before we experience a romantic relationship, we experience parental and familial relationships that act as the foundation of how we perceive, react, and framework our love. No matter the substitution, the love Earl Simmons sought was the love of his mother. The understanding of his wife, TASHERA, and the patience of his grandmother could not induce a necessary love of self. TASHERA's love may have also proven to be insufficient due to the abandonment of her own mother. Both TASHERA and Earl Simmons lacked an essential maternal nurturement within pivotal ages and moments of their life. Due to the lack of maternal guidance from her own mother and the lack of maternal love from Earl Simmons' mother, TASHERA took on the role as a maternal force within her family, especially as she was the mother of Xavier Simmons and 3 other children that she would soon have with DMX. And the adhesive that made this relationship so cohesive was their maternal trauma, as well as a paternal trauma, but a very pronounced maternal trauma. TASHERA was abandoned by her mother at 14, and at 14, DMX really went through a lot of pivotal changes that altered his life forever, to which if he had his mother, those pivotal moments probably would have never transpired or progressed in the way that it did. It's very apparent how much we need our mothers, how much we need a good, healthy relational dynamic with our mothers, or how at least we need a maternal influence, as seen with DMX. If not for his grandmother, God knows how coarse and callous he really could have been. Like, for example, Jay-Z, he grew up without a paternal influence. Sean Carter grew up with his mother, yet his mother gave him the divine feminine. She gave him the maternal presence. She motivated him. She encouraged him. She gave him compassion. She gave him empathy, sympathy. She gave him what he needed as her son, being his mother, whereas DMX was deprived of all of those things. So it's quite beautiful to see that he's even able to articulate himself so poetically through his lyricism as a rapper. It's profoundly interesting that he can do such a thing when in reality it's often hard for him to express his concealed truth. So it's just, you need your mom. You need your mommy, but you also need your mama to be healthy so that she can be what you need her to be. There wouldn't be a you without her. You need her, but you need her healthy. And if not healthy, then that's toxic, and you don't need that. It's a crazy duality, for the lack of better words, Like, you need someone, but you could very well live without them, but you need them if they can't be what you need, although they are everything that you need because of who they are. It's insane, but it's true,